Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave original. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. It is Foxworth Friday. Domonique Foxworth, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. We're getting closer and closer to football season when everybody's life gets a little easier.
Yo, everybody's life gets easier, and what amazes me, there's nothing quite like the people on Twitter who like, yo, football's back, and I'm like, baby, it's the preseason kind, and they still out there, they still here for that near beer football.
I mean, I was about to say that nobody actually watches past the first few minutes, but I'm pretty sure last time I checked, the preseason be out here doing numbers. It's insanity.
Yeah, now to be fair, the competition is weak, right? But at the same time, you put any football on television and people are lapping it up. It doesn't matter what kind of football it is. People watch the Pro Bowl, right? Like, in fact, the reason they had to change the Pro Bowl to flag football, it really wasn't because people didn't watch it. It's because they was watching it and people was getting embarrassed.
Yeah, we was watering down the product. I want you walking around like every time you watch football, you leave happy. We can't have you watching football and leaving disappointed.
No, every time somebody would be like, yo, man, they need to just get rid of the football. And they like, brother, let me hand you this spreadsheet.
Oh yeah, we need to get rid of the Pro Bowls. Like, sir, the Pro Bowl is doing season finale numbers, my friend. And you know what the networks like? They like them numbers. So we're gonna keep something on here. I don't know. Y'all can play, y'all can not play. I don't know. We play dodgeball. We're gonna do something.
I feel like one thing I think that is often forgotten about preseason football is the NFL season is 20 weeks. Counting preseason and regular season. It has been that way for a very long time. And when I say it's been that way for a very long time, when it was a 16-game season, there were 4 preseason games. But when it was a 14-game season, there were 6 preseason games. 6.
I can't imagine, man. I guess football requires some acclimation. So, that's kind of why they don't even do it in college anymore where they have the cupcakes at the front of the schedule.
Right.
Like they kicking that season off with something serious, and your team ain't your team yet. Like we ain't real at this point.
Man, those August football games are so bad. And pretty soon they gonna have to start playing them motherfuckers at 7 o'clock in the morning, man. It's 100 degrees outside.
Oof, yeah, I had that conversation when we were talking about the Travis Hunter playing both ways, and Greeny was making the argument that he did it at elevation. I was like, I get you. He was like, he did it at elevation, so it's gonna be easier down at sea level. I was like, you know what happens at sea level? Humidity. You know what happens in Florida? Heat. Like, I'd rather have a hard time getting oxygen than be down there trying to do 150 snaps in 100-degree weather.
Yo, I do think this, though, about Travis Hunter. When Travis Hunter's time on this earth is up, it's going to be like Secretariat, where he's going to die and they're going to cut him open and they're going to find out his heart was like the size of a watermelon, right? Like, we are just going to find out that he had something inside him that is completely different. He also appears to have one of these young people things. I mean, it probably could be diagnosed. That boy don't never be still. Anytime you see a clip of Travis Hunter, he is always moving. That would drive me insane.
I don't say it
to
say,
boy.
Yeah. I don't say it to suggest that he can do it. Just saying, it actually ain't easier. And you're right. There are some people that I think just are different. And we had this conversation about me trying to copy what Champ did when I first got there. It took me three days to realize I can't. I just can't. You're right. I think that's true about Travis Hunter, but I'm just saying it ain't gonna be easier than it was in college. That's just the crazy part to me.
No, but I am intrigued. You are far more optimistic about the idea of him playing on both sides than I am. Now, I think when I've seen you talk about it, you made the point that you think 80-80, right? Like not playing every snap of the game. I still think it's positively insane that they're even going for this. But I think the part that people need to remember is if you look at how much Jacksonville gave up to trade up to take him, it only makes sense. It can't just be, we're going to see if he can do both. The plan must be that he could do both, right? Like, this is the difference between him and Shohei Ohtani is you only pitch every 5 days, right?
Yeah.
And when you pitch, you don't have to play in the field. He's going to do all of this, apparently.
And like, I mean, no disrespect to baseball players, but I assume that they would agree that like the tax on your body is a little different. And he's like, to your point, he's not playing both. He's not doing both things at a high level at the same time, but it's still just a different asking for different things. There is playing corner and receiver is going to be tearing up the same muscles and body parts for the course of an entire game. And so like, I don't think it's not insane. I just also think that sometimes insane shit happens. Like, to the point that you were making, they might just do some sort of analysis of his blood and find out that he just was born with a lot more white blood cells or red blood cells than anybody else. Like, I don't know. It certainly seems like what he's done so far suggests that if nothing else is possible. But you said the thing about compensation from one side. It only makes sense for the team. There's the compensation question from the other side. Like, you don't want to get in the habit of doing 2 jobs for the price of one.
Like, some people got mad at me about this when he was at Colorado, where I'm like, y'all keep acting like y'all doing this boy a favor by letting him work 2 jobs, by letting him work a double shift. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is insane. Like, in the way NFL salaries are set up, there's no way, at least on the rookie wage scale, for you to account for what we're talking about. Now, maybe he could wind up getting into that overage pool that they have, based on all the stuff he's doing.
But that don't work because that is the formula includes where you were drafted.
Oh,
so like,
yeah.
I made more my rookie year from that overage pool than I did from my actual salaries because I was damn near a 4th round draft pick. And so I was not expected to play more than half of the defensive snaps. It's different for him. I mean, I guess maybe he'll break the formula if he plays on both sides of the ball.
Right. Here's my question. Does the formula even have accounting?
No. It goes by percentage of snaps on your side of the ball. Or even if you combine them, it's still going by percentage of snaps. It fuck around and hurt him.
So I think that this is it's I think for me, and I just have eyeball scoutability, okay? He looks like an all-pro caliber corner to me and like a very good receiver. Like, I don't know, or maybe it's because I never really entertained I always thought him playing receiver was a bit more toward like gimmick territory. Like, oh, let's throw him out here. So I don't think when he was at Colorado, I didn't give a lot of thought to him as a receiver. Then I looked up and they said he had 15 touchdown catches. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is something. Now, in the Big 12, but still, it was like, oh, okay, I guess that's what's going on here. But he out here working these doubles and think he the one coming out on top.
That's tough, man. That is tough. It's you pointed out the rookie wage situation. There's a cap limitation. There's also when you get to your contract, it's like we always base these contracts off of precedent at your position. And so since he has potentially an unprecedented position, like we see this time and time again where guys are abnormally impactful for the position that they play. And then they're caught in this trick bag where they're trying to convince everyone else to treat me a tight end like a receiver. Because that's the way because that's the way this offense is using me and treating me. Or treat me like a defensive end, even though I'm a tackle, but I'm having this type of impact. So that aside, even the franchise tag is a steal for him. The point of the franchise tag is kind of to force both sides to make a deal because of the cap implications. It makes it pretty hard. But then if you go into the actual open market, like make me the highest paid corner, make me the highest paid receiver. Yeah, sure. Even if I'm not great at both, if I'm average at one and good at the other, I deserve a lot more than anybody else playing this game, short of Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Everybody else, get behind me. And that's just not going to work as a negotiation tactic.
No, it's not. By the way, speaking of Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and I just thought about this because you mentioned their names. You know, we doing our list over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got our top 25 athletes of the top 25 years. And sometimes we take out clips from those things and we put them on the internet, but people don't understand that the clips are coming from a list, right? They just don't get that. And so, in making my case for Lamar Jackson in the context of the 25 and 25 years, discuss the fact that he's a two-time MVP who would be a three-time MVP, except they felt like giving Josh Allen an MVP, which I think is incontrovertibly true. You can't make the argument that you thought that Lamar was first team. This is like that Offensive Player of the Year award that is always there just so somebody else can get some love, right? You can't make the guy first team all pro at quarterback and then not vote for him at MVP, right? That seems very Solomonic. You splitting the baby, dog, right? Like that
Acting like Solomon out here.
Yeah, there we go, right? Like that's what we doing. You better call Saul, so he say he gonna cut the baby in half. And rather than somebody saying, no, don't cut the baby in half, people are like, who half of you cut, I choose, right? Like they were just, they went with that part. Brother, there is a fictional Lamar Jackson-Josh Allen rivalry that only exists on the internet and really exists in Buffalo. Because they think me and you still hate Josh Allen. And then, first of all, we never hated him in the first place. Yeah. But I'm like, you clearly don't listen to anything that we say about Josh Allen.
It ain't. I mean, I think your last you did the Hulk Hogan thing, which yes. I thought you did a good job talking about that. And I think that all of this stuff is sports entertainment, and some of it is more sports than entertainment. Obviously, the wrestling is more entertainment than sports, but I think some of the fan behavior and some of the analysis of sports is heavily entertainment. And I think that what you need in entertainment is you need a good guy and you need a bad guy.
Yes.
And all of us in sports media gave them enough to make us the bad guy, and they ain't gonna let it go, which is fine. They ain't gonna let it go. I'm still experiencing the I was talking the Jalen Hurts stuff. Like I still got that going on. Whereas I say only positive things about Jalen Hurts before and after the pretty privileged joke. And now,
I forgot. Right.
This man making money on. I can't even get in a commercial. Jalen, give me a call, man. I would have reset the shit for the Sprite commercial for a couple bucks.
I forgot that they was saying that your woman wanted Jalen Hurts more than you. I completely forgot that. So for those who don't remember what had happened, Domonique got on television. It said something that I thought was funny. Let me not say that you thought was funny, because that sounds like passive aggressive shade.
It's fine. It obviously wasn't funny enough.
No, but I can't remember exactly what he said. Something that didn't make no sense. Mm-hmm. Like I remember that very clearly being the issue. Whatever he said didn't add up. And Domonique was like, "Look, he only getting away with this pretty privilege. People think he good looking, and therefore he could get away with saying this." And then they got aggregated, and they're like, "Oh, Foxworth girl must be all up on him. He can't get no doubt." And I'm like, "Boy, you guys have a serious misunderstanding of the confidence level of Domonique Foxworth, number one." Like, it was so wild as I'm hearing this. And I hope that people feel like this about me when some stuff happens, where they pop up and they're like, "Oh yeah, they don't really know this dude at all," right? And so they was coming at Domonique from every corner, and you're obviously joking, you're laughing the whole nine, but you was the cat that everybody was mad at for that day, because everybody need to find somebody that they go wind up being mad at. And they was mad at you about Jalen Hurts. And let me tell you something, man. Jalen Hurts going to be an interesting one for me, because I still have not seen any reason for me to change my opinion of him. Yeah. Right? Like, I still think that he is a good quarterback. I still think that, well, it may be different this year because they had a lot of changes in personnel. But last year, their weakest position group was quarterback. Now, if you think that he is a top 4 or 5 quarterback in the league, that still fits, because every position group they had was higher than top 4, right? From offensive line, running back, wide receivers, defensive line, linebackers, DBs. They was all the way up there. And if Jalen Hurts was the 5th best quarterback in the league, which I think we all agree is the highest that you could reasonably put him, then that was still their weakest position group, right? But we've made it in this world such that the quarterback is the answer for everything, in spite of if we see it here. And, people like him, right?
Yeah.
He is a well-liked player. It's going to take more for me to change where I come from on Jalen Hurts than it did for me to change where I came from on Josh Allen. Now, granted, I never thought he was terrible like I thought Josh Allen was terrible. But I don't think I can get there to top 5, or at least I am not there yet. If he shows that he like a leap, not even a leap, but a jump in his play, I might be able to ride out with you, but they still don't seem like they really want to throw the ball unless they got to.
Yeah, and if any other situation you could survive or not even survive, thrive the way they thrived without throwing the ball, of course you don't. Because you know what's high risk, high reward is throwing a deep pass. You know what's low risk and high reward? Running that thing for 55 yards. So they had a unique situation, and he played well in important moments. The conversation about Jalen that I find more interesting rather than making these comparisons, it's just like how astonishing his career has been.
Amazing.
Like the track record and the thing that I marvel at for him is how every situation there are major setbacks that would be like, oh, yeah, ain't nobody coming back from this. And somehow he comes back and jumps over it. That's why I kind of feel like the people, especially since Jalen doesn't seem to care that much, the people who constantly want us to compare him to Patrick Mahomes and the likes of them are doing him a disservice. It kind of feels like I ran a marathon and you like, but what about them ultras though? I just ran damn near 25 miles. Can we, like, that to me is what's so impressive about, like, we can go through the whole history of his career, but he obviously he kind of failed to some degree at Alabama, then went on and won the Heisman somewhere else.
Well, hold on. This is where it's interesting, right? It's major setbacks while also being wildly successful.
Yeah.
Okay. So freshman year at Alabama, he was the offensive player of the year. He was first team all SEC. And if I'm not mistaken, he was a Heisman Trophy finalist, right? Like he was way up there. And then remember they got mad at me because I said every team Jalen Hurts has been on has ultimately been held back by his shortcomings as a passer, which, by the way, when I said that was absolutely true. He gets to Oklahoma, and if I'm not mistaken, he was Heisman Trophy runner-up, first team All Big 12, third team All-American. As I'm looking at it, not that good a passer. But again, everything I'm saying, yeah, but look at the wild success that we're talking about at the top level of it. His second year as an NFL starter, they made it to the Super Bowl where he played a better game than Patrick Mahomes.
That's the crazy part, man.
Balled. But then the next year it was like, bruh, I don't know about your meds. Like we keep talking setbacks, but there's so many highs that if that's all you ever did would be great.
It just feels so unfair as soon as he does these. And it's not even that they're setbacks. They feel like falls that would be almost impossible to come back from. It's like on the highest stage at Alabama, they benched him and the other guy took his spot. It's hard to bounce back from that. And then you're a second round pick behind a guy who's a damn near wins the MVP. It's hard to come in there and take that spot. Then you go to Super Bowl, play well, and have a really like a bad season the following year in your second round pick. It's hard to come back from that. He then comes back and balls out in the Super Bowl again and wins one and gets a Super Bowl MVP. It's that all the Jalen Hurts support is if you really cared about him. That's what we need to be focusing on.
Yes.
Stop pushing him out here to go fight these other bullies. Let's celebrate what he's done so far.
Well, I will say, though, the one thing that I don't think was as hard as you pointed to was unseating Carson Wentz. I have two rationale.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, for whatever reason, the people around him don't seem to like him that much. I don't know why. But number two, second round picks are intended to be starters.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody took him with the thought of, maybe we can get this other cat out of here and do it for the cheap. But you're right. He has pulled it off. And now this year's going to be interesting because they don't have all the same guys, right? Like Mekhi Becton not playing left guard or whichever guard he played for you. They didn't dare put him on the same side as Lane, did they? I can't remember.
He was on the right.
Oh God.
I think he was on the right.
The eclipse. They just had an eclipse on the right side of the line. I can't imagine. You imagine you play over there and it's Lane on the other side and you're like, nah, let me get the light work. The 375-pound guy next to him.
First round pick.
So I told you, I posted up with Lane at the Super Bowl in Vegas, and I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Lane. I remember. I think it was at the same party we saw where he was walking around with a diamond chain.
Big old chain.
I was like, man, I didn't even know how to feel or think. Sometimes it's just different species of humans, and Lane fits in that category.
Ryan says that Lane Johnson used to be a quarterback.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I don't understand what that means. Like, what are you talking about? Quarterback where and how? Like what? Like I'm hearing this and I'm suspended. Like,
he was a quarterback in JUCO.
Hold up. So we're not even talking about like seventh grade.
No, not in high school. He played quarterback in tight end at a JUCO.
What fucking offense were they running?
When Lane Johnson show up and say, I'm a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, yo, let me tell you this. I just thought of something that could, maybe it would mess the party up.
Oh, I know.
You know what I just thought about, didn't you?
Yeah.
The tush push with Lane Johnson as quarterback. I just thought about it. Would you lose would losing Lane Johnson as the tackle mess it up, or would it make the tush push absolutely more unstoppable?
Yeah, it would make it. I mean, that should be first down play. We getting 4 at least. We're getting 4 at least, and that reminds me of like the Trent Williams when the 49ers had that man running in motion to kick out.
Yo, me and you both were like, hey, that can't be, y'all can't allow this.
Rules committee. Hey, I need to send y'all this video.
That's like that in all the plays that Big Brain Ben used to run for Sewell.
Yep, exactly. I think so. My son is probably going to play tackle for the first time this year, and there are like certain rules to keep like the bigger kids in certain leagues away. Like you can't be like 220 and running the ball because nobody can tackle you. Yeah, we need to institute some of that around here, around the NFL.
I've been thinking about this with Sewell. And just before I say this, I need y'all to understand. I'm not the one being racist. How soon is Vince McMahon at Sewell's door the second he says he don't want to play football no more? Like, I'm actually surprised that Vince McMahon went in the parking lot at Oregon every day trying to figure out how to get Sewell to be a wrestler.
I mean, what the history of wrestling is not even with you being in your nationality. Like, if we can trick them, we gonna trick them. So like,
but I'm just saying, him as a Polynesian, there's a long line of big old athletic Polynesians. Do they even, like, other than The Rock? When's the last time we had a really good Polynesian wrestler? Like, I ain't been paying attention because the problem was all the portrayals of the Polynesian wrestlers were over the top racist. Like, it always seemed like Jimmy Superfly Snuka was ready to drink out of somebody's head, like crack it open and they always had him out there like they was about to eat Captain Cook. Oh, I forgot Roman Reigns. He a Polynesian.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow it like I used to. Obviously, I don't know, but I do remember that they just had the cheat code. They're like, look, we you know how we can tell stories. Is if we show you something and we know exactly what you're thinking, we're gonna reinforce it. We don't gotta drive it home any more than we already have.
That's correct. But I still think that Penei Sewell, like, they would have, if I don't know if he got a brother, but Vince would have made them a tag team. They'd have been out there doing some incredible moves. Yeah. Like, oh my God, you know the thing where you throw them what they call it, the Irish whip, and then you throw them in the ropes, and then when they run at you, you jump up like spread eagle over them. I bet you Sewell can do that. I would be afraid for him to try that trick on my watch, but I bet you Sewell could do that.
There was it's like a random D lineman and when I was in Denver that could just hit backflips, and I was just like, I couldn't do a backflip. I was 200 pounds lighter than him and faster, more explosive. It's just like the level. Who was the guy? It was Tristan Wirfs, right? Who that man did a vertical leap out of a pool. Go try it. Google it, look it up, watch him do it, then go goddamn try it. Do you know how hard that is?
That's absurd.
You know how much strength you have to have and power. It's not just strength and power, explosive, because he's also big to throw your body out of a pool.
That I believe is that also when Wirfs went to
Bucks.
Iowa.
Oh yeah, Iowa. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that Iowa strength program, man. that Iowa strength program is a whole nother thing. I'd also want to say this while I'm thinking about it with the Polynesians. Don't the Polynesians break all of our binary race-based assumptions of athletic ability? Like, where do the Polynesians fall in on this?
I don't know. Yeah, we haven't paid. I mean, outside of football,
That seemed to be the only sport that we really done got them into. But they be out there running, they be out there jumping, they be doing all that stuff. And all I'm saying is, like, that boy Tua, if we didn't know that Polynesia existed, where he get his haircut at? You feel me?
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like they would be saying that's us.
Yeah, his brother went to Maryland and was a quarterback there for a while, and that's us.
Yeah, they out there trying to explain to the cops. No. Why you going through my shit, man? Like, no, come on, man. Oh, it happened. Y'all think, read, don't you see all these letters? That ain't African. You know what I'm saying? They out here trying to get out of the trick bag because they've been discriminated against in that moment.
Oh, man, I can't get past the jumping out of a pool. It's summertime, so y'all probably in pools every now and then. Just try it.
The other thing is, it's not just the fact that you could jump out the pool and make it, is that you got to have the confidence to know you got to make that clearly, because otherwise this could turn into a catastrophe.
At that size, like, what are you doing, man? There's only one way to get out of pools. It's to climb out. Yes. That's the only way anyone's ever gotten out of a pool. Sometimes with a ladder, sometimes on the ledge. No one's ever gotten out of a pool in any other way. There's many ways to get in the pool, but there's only one way to get out, unless your name is Tristan Wirfs. I ain't never seen nobody else do that.
Well, I also think the other thing that people lose sight of, generally speaking, about the athleticism of offensive linemen is they're not faster than you, but they're faster than me. They're faster than 95% of the people who are listening to this podcast. Like, oh man, he ran a 5.2 in the 40. You go do it. Go do it right now. And I bet you're not going to put up no 5.2.
That is always funny how people just assume, that they can run a certain time. Like, it happens every year. No one gets out of it. Like, y'all listening, y'all running 7, 6s. Like, it's a long way. Unless you were a college athlete or something. It's a long way to
most of y'all ain't getting no 40-yard. And them big boys be out there getting it. Like when Andre Smith that year, when he was out there with them things swinging left and right, and we had all them jokes, his big ass was running faster than you could.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. I was just watching this man explode out of a pool.
I tell you, man, that sizzle reel that the Iowa strength program, they had to get rid of that one strength coach, because of all that sizzle. In fact, we need to go look at the roster, man, see if they got any more of the new phenomenon coming out of there. Because they had our boy Coop, Riley Moss. They be trotting the new phenomenon out there. Shout out to the OG new phenomenon from Iowa, Tim DeWhite.
Oh, yeah. Riley Moss is underappreciated. Like, Coop got a lot of love because of his basketball tape and because his team was really good and he played in big time moments and made plays. I don't mean this to be judgmental of him, but I think we got to be honest. Is like, he's a hell of a white nickel and a
Nick Cole.
Yeah. Let me emphasize that. My bad.
No, you did just fine. I just need you to know who your real friends are. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna leave you out there.
I appreciate it, and I know that Cooper DeJean, you and I were on this early. I know he has the ability to play on the outside and does sometimes, but we underappreciating Riley Moss because that man play on the outside all the time, and he plays opposite Patrick Surtain, and that's not even it. On a defense that only plays man-to-man coverage every snap just about.
Milk check every down. I had not considered the fact that he is the other corner and you as someone who has lived the life as being the other corner on the other side of that guy. You getting a workout today, buddy.
I've been the other corner on the other side of one of the best in the league and in the history of the league. And I also have a complexion that will make you think twice and put up a 40 time that might make you run some short routes. Yes. Riley Moss is out there. And again, I played in a defense that we mixed some zone in. We did a lot of zero blitzes and some man coverage, but we mixed in some 4s and 2s. That ain't really what they doing. I ain't looked up the percentage, but they have to lead the league in man coverage percentage. And he just out there. Amen. Manned up all game long.
I think part of why Coop gets the attention is I remember when Riley Moss was going through draft process. I think he was a 2nd or 3rd round pick, somewhere in there. But, the projections were that he would be there. And you'd see people talking about it, but they ain't really get into the conversation. And I think he walked so that Coop could run. Once it became clear that Riley Moss was an actual NFL player, but even then they were still real skeptical on our guy Coop, right? I think they started looking at him a little closer, look at that nose. I think he might be able to. think he might be able to get it done.
Trying to claim my man.
That's right. Right.
Man.
Oh, goodness, man. Coming up next. We're going to talk about Jerry Jones being on something a little bit cuckoo. All right, we are back with Domonique Foxworth, and I was sitting here minding my own business, getting ready for the show, coming up with stuff. And I look up on the television, and you up there with Adam Schefter, and you were there with Ryan Clark. And Adam Schefter was explaining how the Micah Parsons deal is not imminent because Micah Parsons just at practice looking sad every day, right? just looking bummed out. But he got to come so so they don't find him, take his money away from him. And Adam Schefter told us the reason that apparently a deal has not been done with Micah Parsons. And if you haven't heard this is pretty amazing. So apparently, Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons had worked out the framework of a deal. Notice I said Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons. I don't mean Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons camp. I mean Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons had worked this deal out. And at some point, Micah Parsons' agent, David Mulgeta, was like, what? You lost your mind? And so now he's coming in and trying to undo some of what had been discussed, right? But Jerry Jones is like, hey, deal's a deal. We already worked that part out. And that is a significant part of why we're still here. The way Adam Schefter talked about it is the idea that the deal is foregone conclusion is not there. That they've got to undo and redo in order to make this happen. And Domonique, how did they make this so difficult? They did this. I mean, you don't give Micah Parsons exactly what he asked for, but you kind of do.
I was gonna say that I don't want to repeat the stuff that I said on Get Up, but I imagine that excuse me, not everybody is watching.
Hold on, you're not required to make up new answers when the answer is the answer. You know what I'm saying? Just so you know, we can't let these motherfuckers have this because I be seeing this happen too. We're like, man, you said the same thing over. Sometimes you do that.
I just have a hard time because I understand when there are situations. I understand why some negotiations get difficult and contentious. Like, while I rarely and probably never is fair end up on the side of management, I understand. I pipe down a little bit if that argument has happened. I just might avoid that topic because I don't feel like caping for them. This one don't make no sense. Like, this is a simple situation, and there are negotiations in this. This should not be a negotiation. I think this is tantamount to a max salary in basketball. Like, it's time. This what he get. Pay him. This is not someone you should negotiate with. He was a first-round pick who performed better than you, who performed like on a Hall of Fame track. What are we doing? You pay him $1 more than the person who got paid at that position prior to him. You make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. The sooner you can do it, the better off you can be. That's what I don't understand is you have to understand that there are some car dealerships you can go into and haggle. There are some that the price is the price because it's so rare and valuable. Tell me somebody who got a good deal on a brand new Lamborghini. Never happened. Not never. Just go in there and pay it. That's what doesn't make sense to me. It's like, it's just not how it works. It's how it's ever worked. I don't know what they're doing from the Cowboys side.
He is, I've been thinking about this. He is probably the greatest non-Terp defensive player in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. Only that one Terp I can think of. Like DeMarcus Ware is maybe in the conversation also, right? But if we're not talking about Randy White, I can't think of a Cowboy. Oh, Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
But you can make an argument, given the thing that gets lost because they don't ask him to do it anymore, is that Micah Parsons would be maybe the best off-ball linebacker too, right? Like, it just, because the plan was not for him to be an edge rusher when he got there. Otherwise, he does not go number 12 or whatever it was in the draft. Then they're like, oh, he could do that too? Okay, cool. He's that guy. There's no way around it. I can't believe, like, I could understand why it might take you a while to come to a consensus with CeeDee Lamb. I could understand how it is that you don't want to have to make yourself pay Dak Prescott all that money. You should be excited about giving that money to Micah Parsons.
You can't wait. Like, there's no way that it helps you. So, like, if you pay him sooner, the price is lower. If you pay him sooner, your cap hit is lower. If you pay him sooner, then you have him extended through the period where he is most impactful. You pay him sooner, you have money to negotiate to add other people to this roster. And when there are players, like, there are some deals that are easy to do. And I don't understand why you want to expend so much of this capital. Like, I don't know. And the fact that David Mugeta is a long time, really successful, like one of the best agents in football. The fact that he is the agent makes it even easier. You ain't pulling the fast one on him, man. He know the game. And he also, like, he ain't trying to do nothing tricky. I don't know what he's asking for, but he ain't trying to make a name for himself. You know what the deal is. Sign the deal.
And they got a good team.
Yeah.
I think it is because they are such an understandable object of ridicule. Mm-hmm. It's easy to lose sight of the fact that they won 7 games last year with a very hurt Dak Prescott, right? Now, they gave up, holy shit. Do you know how many points they gave up last year?
Yeah, a lot.
Do you know the exact number?
I don't.
468. To put this in context, the Eagles scored 463.
That's not right.
Right? So it was like the Eagles gave up 303. The Cowboys gave up 468. Even better context, the Giants gave up 415. I mean, that's awful. 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 But they still have a chance to be pretty good. My expectation is that this Washington thing is not going to go for people the way that they expect it to. I think my assumption with young quarterback in year 2 is not, and it's only up from here. That's not how quarterback stuff works, right? Any of that can happen. Cliff, people tend to catch on to whatever it is Cliff has been doing. You know, you got that situation. Oh, and they ain't giving Terry McLaurin his money, which is another confusing one. But all right, whatever y'all think, right? The Cowboys got a good chance to be second in that division, which can be a Super Bowl contender, to be honest. You know, you get the right draw. You can make this happen. This the guy you just got to get a bread to, man. But Jerry, my thing with Jerry now, and I've long thought that Jerry gets a bit of a bad rap. I think Jerry's a better football man than he has gotten credit for. I met Jerry in person for the first time. In fact, you were with me. I believe it was 2022. We did Bob Costas' show back on the record with Bob Costas, and Jerry was there. And when you're around Jerry, you can see, oh, this is how he traffics. This is why he gets where he is. He feels old now. And he never felt old before, but he feels old, but is still always at the microphone.
He loves it.
He loves it. But every day you get a whole, and look, it's tough for cats getting older, man. Every day they know that they're not as sharp as they was the day before, you know? but Jerry is on the mic every day, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it, and it is not helpful.
And he also like still has the power and influence that he had before. So I suspect that I hope. I mean, I've heard, to be fair, that some of the football scouting and those decisions like are delegated to younger and more qualified people, or more, not necessarily more qualified, more active people. And he still wants to make these bigger decisions and talk about these bigger decisions, which makes everyone else's job in life more difficult. But that's the situation there. I don't know any way around it. You started to go to the Terry McLaurin thing, and this was the big sticking point for me on Terry McLaurin is I understand the position of the Commanders where they're like, all right, well, you ain't better than Justin Jefferson, so we can't pay you. You're 30 and receivers go down at that point, so we can't pay you. I get it logically, but you know who you can't get? Justin Jefferson. You know who else you can't get? Some receiver under 30. This is the situation you're in, and you believe yourself to be in some sort of championship window. You have a quarterback who specializes in throwing the deep ball. You know who caught most of those? Terry McLaurin. Like, it's about your options. You don't have any other options unless you want to take a step back this year, which they may have to anyway, because, it's just hard in football. And a lot of their one-score wins, they had a Hail Mary win. They were like 100% on fourth down conversions last year. Like, that stuff could change, but you're certainly not going to be any better without him. So I really don't get the rationale, especially while you have a quarterback who's playing MVP level football for rookie money.
A young guy, man. Like, again, I'm telling you, it's ups and downs with that. You still need to keep everything else around the young guy cracking. You still need everything. And man, you live there, man. I can only imagine how excited they are. The team good, and it looked like they might start being racist again. Boy, I can't imagine how gassed up people are down there. For those of you who ain't seen this, Trump trying to get them to go back to calling the team the R's.
Yeah.
He wants to get back there.
When you talk about the Washington football team could go back to being racist, you got to be specific, because if they go back to their true racist roots, they're going to be looking for a quarterback again.
That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. Yo, the R's are my greatest example of every time somebody like the fans won't tolerate progress. What you think they was giving back that Doug Williams? Doug Williams still ain't paying for nothing around those parts. You think they was like, nah, I'd rather the way that Dallas fans would rather not win than do it without. They would rather lose with Luka Doncic than win with Anthony Davis. That is not how they treated that Doug Williams Super Bowl.
Love it. They love that Doug Williams Super Bowl, even though there's a last team in pro football to have black people on it. Like that Doug Williams Super Bowl. Like,
dude, I told you, man. You go look at what their record was before Joe Gibbs. They the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, no, we'd rather be sorry.
The Cardinals, like, I don't know when it was. It was a few, like, 10 years ago or so or something like that, where I realized how historic a franchise the Cardinals are.
They're the oldest.
Right. And we don't think of them that way because they don't got no glory days. It's crazy. Like, the Cardinals feel like an expansion team from the 90s a little bit, but the Cardinals been to multiple cities and they've been around since this shit started, and they just ain't had nothing that we can look to and be like, oh, remember when they had that dynasty?
Well, because think about it, right? The Bears, you could talk about the Ditka years, but the Bears, honestly, since like the 1940s, have been sorry, right? They won a championship, I want to say, in 1963. They won the one in 1985. Otherwise, they've been cheats, but they're the Bears. We can point at least to those points. We got some names. The Cardinals ain't got no coach that we think, we know Bruce Arians and like the things they've done. But you're right, they ain't had no run. But I believe that of the active franchises, I believe they are the oldest. And you're right, we don't think of them that way at all.
And it's like those old franchises, like their logos mean something. And it resonates for you. Like, that bird don't do nothing for me, man. That little bird head, like, I feel like that, like the Bears see. Like, I see that Packers emblem. I see that. I'm like, football. I see that Cardinals bird. I'm like, okay. Cool.
Somebody looks like a 3.5 point foot underdog. Like that is
The Steelers, man. I see
right.
that little Steelers thing. I think about, yeah.
Yo, and the Steelers, by the way, are another team that was sorry until they weren't. They
Mhm.
were the worst team in the league until the 70s came, and they were like, okay, got two ideas. I hear those black people colleges have good players. And shall we say the training, the prayers, and the vitamins. They got all the training, the prayers, and the vitamins, and then they was unreal. But if you took that 6-year period out where they won those 4 Super Bowls, ooh, that's another one. That's a shaky situation.
Yeah, but I mean, since then though,
Yes.
yeah, they had, but yeah, that's like the history of it. And like the Cowboys are kind of the ultimate example, but they've had some good runs. The fair thing about the Cowboys, they haven't won championship, but they had some like meaningful runs since then, including Romo to Dak.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole Tom Landry era was like amazing.
Yeah.
Like
Landry
Tom Landry
era, then to
he was only sorry for like a couple of years.
And they got him out of there.
The Jerry got him out of here. But with the Steelers, the reason I bring that up and I think often gets lost, Tomlin has the line, the standard is the standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is caught because Mike Tomlin is like the Jay-Z of football, right? Like he got that bar for you that you'll remember. But take away the 4 championships in 6 years. They're just like everybody else when it comes to Super Bowls, right?
But
they have won 2 Super Bowls since 1979. 2.
So, I mean, to be fair though, who are you talking about that does not? Because I know how we got here, so it doesn't sound crazy, but in isolation, take away the 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. Sounds.
It does, but given that was now 50 years ago,
right?
I think we could look at this a little bit. The argument that, yes, Tomlin has not won a playoff game since the Obama administration, which feels somewhat poetic, but neither here nor there, right? I understand the criticism of them not winning those playoff games, right? It's kind of a Marvin Lewis sort of argument. I get where people come from on that. The idea that since they're the Steelers, they're supposed to be competing for Super Bowls every year, that is not supported by the last 45 years of history. It's not. They're like everybody else. If they get to it, it'll be great. The 49ers in that time period have been to, I want to say, 7 Super Bowls, where the Steelers have been there 4. Like, it's not the same. It's just not. Nobody talks about the 49ers like, well, you ain't won no Super Bowls in this time. 49ers ain't won no Super Bowl since 1994.
Right.
And nobody's like the standard is the standard.
They've been close. That's fair. Yeah, I'm just looking around at. I think the Dolphins are another team that I feel like they should be more respected, but it doesn't feel that way. And they were like the winningest team for a long time, and they had that Shula run in Marino. But I'm just looking at these logos, honestly, right now, and like trying to see which ones, when I look at them, I'll be like, oh. And it ain't the Dolphins, which is unfair to them, I guess.
No, I mean, they went to 5 Super Bowls between the 1970s and 1980s, and they got Don Shula out of there after a winning season because the standard was the standard. And the way that people older than me view the Dolphins is so completely different than people around our age view them, because they were a historically great franchise, and they just been kind of booty ever since. You know, like the Denver Broncos are a historically great franchise that we don't think of as a historically great franchise, for example. Then, the Raiders used to be.
How many runs do you need? Or like, how do you determine that? Is it over multiple coaches, over different eras, over multiple quarterbacks? Like, how do you,
That's a good question.
Because a lot of these teams, they had a really great run at a good time, because I feel like most of the teams that we think of as these great historic teams are teams that had dynasties before free agency or around the onset of free agency. And we're like, they're just such a well-run organization. Like, nah, they were just taking advantage of the players better than everyone else.
Or like you have your burster run at the right time. I mean, the New England Patriots non-Belichick version. Cheeks. Even with 2 Super Bowls, 2 appearances at least, right? We're talking about cheeks here. nobody's like North Carolina men's basketball, right?
Yeah.
Or Alabama football, where we just be good for a real long time. And yeah, it may be a little lull, but then we gonna pop back up and get it cracking. That's not really how the NFL works. Everybody has had, like, the Browns had their run again before other people really got on the black people thing. You know what I'm saying? They had themselves a nice run. The Bengals, until this Brown took over, they had a couple Super Bowls that they had gone to. Honestly, the only team that's been like super consistently good like that for their entire existence has been your boys, the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. What they've done has been really impressive and amazing, but they came in, and they didn't come in a good situation, but they were pretty good right away. And it was that draft, man. The draft that you and I talked. That man Ozzie Newsome, his first draft as actual general manager of the Baltimore Ravens. That man messed around and got two of the best players in the history of their position and just kicked this thing off right. It ain't turned back since.
Two guys who have an argument for being the greatest of all time at their positions. I am about to read off for you in order a run of Baltimore Ravens first round picks. I am going to stop at the year 2006. So this is from 1996 to 2006. It's 10 drafts over 11 years. Okay. Jonathan Ogden, Ray Lewis. Now I'm about to hit him with the sleeper that one of the boys be forgetting about. Peter Bullware.
Ooh.
Another super edge rusher who also could play off the ball, right? Dwayne Starks.
No.
Very good. A very good player. Chris McAllister.
Yeah.
Jamal Lewis. Travis Taylor. Todd Heap. Ed Reed. Terrell Suggs. Kyle Bowler. Mark Clayton. And Haloti Ngata.
Lord.
Okay, so that's three guys who are in the Hall of Fame right now. Two more who I think will go in. Not I think is a no-brainer Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Suggs I don't feel as enthusiastic about, but I still think he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Get in,
Because I'm the kind of guy who would do this. I would put Jamal Lewis in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right? Chris McAllister was a monster.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a run of picks, old boy.
You talking about, the bottom of the barrel there, like if we cut out the complete misses, we talk about like all pro level, Pro Bowl level guys. Like, that Ozzie, he wasn't missing. I was gonna say it's a high streak, but that ain't a streak, man. That's so long.
This is what I do.
How you get that many Hall of Famers? That's insanity, man.
And it also reminds me of one of my favorite football pictures of all time.
Oh.
Jonathan Ogden, player for St. Albans.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, guys, St. Albans is like a place where like very rich people send their kids in DC. Jonathan Ogden was 6'9". And okay, I'll put it this way. You know who played offensive line for St. Albans? Not all of you will know this, but if you are a viewer of the Domonique Foxworth show, Charlie Kravitz played offensive line at St. Albans. And if Charlie Kravitz had been in that picture of Jonathan Ogden playing, he would have been the second biggest person in that picture. I just can't believe that those rich dorks had the nerve to have to run up on Jonathan Ogden at any point.
The reason why that picture is so impressive is because Jonathan is surrounded by a bunch of dudes named Charlie. That's why it's so amazing. And Jonathan, he was on their team, so I'm sure they didn't mind it. But I guarantee you, there was some other private schools in that league that was not happy about Jonathan Ogden coming downhill on their future president.
Nah, brother, you had to treat that like they treated Orlando Pace at Ohio State. We just not even gonna put nobody over there.
Yeah, why not? We're not gonna subject nobody to that. Oh.
By the way, the 1997 draft, you want to talk about a sneaky draft? Orlando Pace, Walter Jones, and Tony Gonzalez in the top 13.
That's impressive.
With Shaw Springs, Peter Bullware, James Ferrier, and my man Warwick Dunn thrown in there.
Peter Bullware, like that name, Florida State. He's from Baltimore too.
No, he is from. No,
I'm thinking about Darnell Dockett, the Baltimore Dunbar.
Bullware is from South Carolina.
He was a monster, man.
Yeah, but the African Americans would not be fond of his politics, I don't think.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, he run for office on it. Like, it ain't
Ooh.
enough. You know what I'm saying?
Getting his Herschel Walker on?
Yeah, well, hopefully not that far. But
Okay.
yes, they be in the same rooms. Y'all call them the same names.
Well, you know what? Nobody's concerned about that. He's getting after the passer.
That's right. That's right.
You can talk about all the bootstraps you want to talk about.
No, show me your self-hatred, brother. Go out here and put it out there. If you do possess any, by the way, I'm throwing it up as a hypothetical. The last thing I would say for people, just because I mentioned Warrick Dunn. Warrick Dunn is like the nicest man in the world, and Warrick Dunn is the least assuming football player that you will ever see in person. And I will tell you an example of this. I'm in Vegas for the Super Bowl last year, and I'm outside of Circa, the joint down off the strip. And I'm talking to Warrick Dunn, and we say what's up or whatever. And we get done with the conversation because my friends walk past me. And I was like, yep, that was Warrick Dunn. They're like, damn, that was Warrick Dunn? Yes. Who were these friends? Charlie Kravitz and Domonique Foxworth. Like, because why would you think Warrick Dunn was a football player? Yeah. Nothing indicates football player about Warrick Dunn unless he's out there playing football.
Oh, yeah. I before that incident, I'd interviewed Warrick. I've been around a bunch of times, but yeah, it's not, nothing about him suggests that. And then you see his quickness, athleticism, it changed your mind.
Yeah, I mean, with Warrick Dunn, like, damn, I'm feeling a little tall. Definitely not big. I never feel big, but I definitely stand with Warrick Dunn. And they're gonna be like, damn, do you hoop? And are you his agent, perhaps?
We were at a flag football tournament last weekend, and I ran into Vince Carter at the tournament, whose son was there. And Vince Carter is very into like his kids' sports. He was talking about all his kids' sports and how he's doing all that stuff. And his son, I think, was like 7 or something. He was younger than my son, so I didn't see him play. But I could only imagine the type of athletes that Vince Carter is producing. He walked over and he was like, yeah, he playing flag football at like 7, 8 years old. Yeah, go ahead and get it. I don't know who's paying attention if you are a general manager for one of these colleges, but I'm pretty sure you can go ahead and send an offer over there immediately.
Like, Vince Carter did not possess what made Michael Jordan athleticism so crazy was the grace of it, right? Like the idea that it's like this dude is floating. It's like he's walking on air. Vince Carter athleticism, just powerful explosion, like a smaller version of Dominique Wilkins that could jump higher. Because I did that all cast with Vince last year, and so I got to kick it with him a bit there. He's not a small man by any chance, but it's not. You don't really get it. Me and my brother, and I told Vince this, me and my brother thought that Vince Carter was 6'10" for years, just from watching him tip dunk when he was a freshman at Carolina. We're like, what is this? Like, my man, I got a partner who played pickup with him at Woolen when he was at Carolina, and he described it only one way: humbling. Like, it was at that point where he still thought that he had a chance to make the hoop thing happen, and then he get out there hooping with Vince.
Oh,
Humbling, guys. Humbling.
I mean, I don't know if his son possesses the ability, or any of his kids
gonna find out
ability to shoot, but no, we're not gonna find out. What I'm saying is the difference between Vince Carter's 6'6", so if his son is 6'3", 6'2", that's big for football. And you know what you don't need to play football? Like, it's nice if you have grace, or you have the fine motor coordination or hand-eye coordination to repeat the jump shot at like a golfer. That would be fantastic. We don't need that over here. We don't need that over here. You got some explosive athleticism? We gonna find a spot, man. There's a spot for a 6'2" dude who has explosive, violent athleticism. So,
brother, I'm telling you, whatever sport we out here playing, if Vince's son say he want to play,
he on deck.
You got a chance, right? You're gonna get some reps. You're gonna have the opportunity to show us what you can or cannot do. We can't. Like, it's still so crazy to me that Virginia Tech did not offer Steph Curry or Seth a scholarship. Hey, man, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Like, I like Seth Greenberg a lot. That's 2 balls that you dropped. Every year, Seth Greenberg would be out here talking about expanding the tournament to 96 games. You wouldn't have had 96 teams. You wouldn't have had to do that if you would just I know what people are going to say when they hear me say this. if you had just engaged in a little nepotism, your whole career might have gone. And look, that's the thing about it. Like, I think that like the idea of doing the Bronny James thing in the NBA, I ain't in the way that the Lakers did it, I didn't think that was cool. But for USC, I wouldn't have cared if he averaged half a point a game in high school. We'll give you a year.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't even think there's a conversation to be had right there. Like, can he walk and chew gum? All right.
Yes.
There's something in there. Maybe we'll tap into it, maybe not, but there's something in there that's worth trying.
And that is Domonique Foxworth. Check him out on the Domonique Foxworth Show, available where all fine podcasts are given away for free. My brother, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. We do this 3 times a week. Ryan Brumley handles everything behind the scenes. Thank you, sir. Remember, follow The Right Time. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. And we'll talk to you guys in a couple of days, and we will resume our countdown on Monday. Take it easy.